The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. As we continue with our fall previews, we go to where Be Safe, Be Smart, Be Here Tomorrow started. And that's at Lebanon High School. And head coach Will Christian. And Coach Christian, that's been a long time ago when I came over there and picked up a couple of your kids to take them to lunch for something. They got put their seatbelts on, and I said, "What are you doing?" I mean, I know I'm glad you're putting them on, but why is that? So, well, Coach Christian sees us anywhere in town without our seatbelt on, we got to run. So that's kind of where that started. And that goes right back to you, Coach.
Well, I appreciate it. And, obviously I think all of us as coaches, care deeply about our athletes, and, it's real that seatbelts do save lives for sure. And young kids can get in bad habits if they're not careful. Now, one of the things that's really nice this day and age is technology. And boy, it's almost impossible to not put your seatbelt on right now because of the annoyance of chimes and different things. But back when you came, gosh, that would have been like what, 2012, maybe somewhere in there. Has it been that long ago?
It has been a long time ago. Came and I cannot remember your quarterback's name, and your running back ended up going to Evangel, and they had both gotten in the vehicle with me, and I can't believe
Hayden Brackett and Brock West were the two.
That is it. Hayden Brackett and Brock West. You are right. But yeah, they got in with me and my dad in a little minivan to go out to eat lunch one day, and they put their seatbelts on. I said, I'm glad to see that. Where does that come from, Mom and Dad? They said, well, yeah, Mom and Dad, but if Coach sees us anywhere in town without our seatbelt on, we got to run. But anyway, that's just a little history there for the Missouri Sports Network and scoreboard guy. But Coach, again, visiting with Coach Will Christian, Lebanon Yellowjackets head football coach, and Coach coming off of maybe one of your best years in recent memory, 11-2. You just lost one game during the regular season. You avenged that win in the playoffs over Camdenton, advancing, in the state playoffs. Tell us a little bit, about last year and what you're losing off of that team to graduation, and who's going to have to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year was, a really solid year. We were very blessed with a great group, a tight-knit group, a group that, did a lot of the little things necessary to improve as the year went on. The Ozark Conference is a tough schedule. I mean, it's never easy. And then you turn around and play a lot of those teams again in districts mixed in with some of the Central Ozark Conference. And so it's definitely challenging. And so, we felt very accomplished by what, we were able to do a year ago and winning a district championship and co-conference championship. But certainly, we're still climbing the mountain as we talk about, when you're talking about, trying to, get to that state championship mark, we're still not there. And so that's the journey that we're on. As far as guys that we lost, every year, good programs are going to lose great kids. I mean, that's part of it. And really a host of guys, we lost to graduation, highlighted probably most by Cade Musha, who has moved on to Southwest Baptist, where he's going to, be, I think, a really good kid for them down the road. And Nathan Bartell was another young man that got a lot of notoriety, and we had, some other guys as well. I could list them all, but would take too much time. Some key guys moving into this year. First we start up front. We return one All-Stater in Danon Conrad, who started for us at guard last year, and I know he'll have a really outstanding year. Thomas Howe, another to-be senior, returns on our offensive line. We also return our starting quarterback, Gavin Smith. Gavin had an excellent year. He rushed for over 1,000 yards, threw for right at 500. A year ago, we rushed for over 5,000 yards as a team, which is top 5 in Michigan State history. And Gavin played a major role in that as the quarterback in an option system. They're the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak, and he was very pivotal. And then we also return on that offensive side of the football, Jax Glendenny. Jax was another 1,000-yard rusher, played slot. This year, he'll move to our B-back position, which in the flex bone is our fullback position. And our expectations are very high for him. He started for us as a freshman. Last year was a sophomore campaign, and so we feel like that he's going to take some next steps and be a really good player. We returned Hoyt Honey that played some receiver, and I'm sure there's some other guys that I'm missing on the offensive side, but a good nucleus, which is always what you want, is a good nucleus. You're always going to lose quality players. But you want a good nucleus, and we have that back. On the defensive side of the football, it's very similar. We've got some guys returning with some quality experience. Drew Bowling and the Hoyt Honey played in our secondary. Jax Glendenny was our second leading tackler on the defensive side as well. We had Gunnar Williams that returns, and honestly, a host of others that got some quality experience. So we're excited. Our expectation is high. I feel like we've had a good off season, and so now, Lord willing, we stay healthy and hungry. We've got to be hungry and continue to progress.
As you look at the Ozark Conference, a very difficult conference to begin with. Well, now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there's maybe 5 new head coaches in the Ozark Conference this year. With, I know, Hillcrest, Parkview, Bolivar. I've got a very good coach coming in that's been at some of the smaller schools, but he's coming in here. You got, I think, Waynesville and obviously Camdenton. So you've got at least 5 new coaches. What kind of challenges does that present?
Well, I think it presents challenges for all the opponents, and just having a good understanding of what that new head coach is going to bring. And I will tell you that I think those head coaches would probably tell you that there's more challenges for them and in implementing everything that they're trying to do into a new program. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but certainly for all of us that are normal to the league, we'll have to assess and adapt. And it's kind of part of it, but I will tell you that except for obviously the week 1 setting, maybe the week 2 setting, this day and age is a day and age where you get too much data, and honestly can create paralysis through analysis by all the data that we get. So I really don't stress too much about not knowing what our opponents are going to do. It's going to boil down to whether or not we can do what we do well and perform at a high level. Week 1, that can be challenging, and we actually get that. We open with Parkview here at Lebanon, and so having a new coach in that realm opens up certainly a lot of question marks as to what we're going to get. I mean, we can look at the places that he's been before and the things that has been done before, but that isn't necessarily what we're going to get. And so we'll have to be pretty multiple in our preparation in order to be ready to go that week 1.
Coach, as you look back over the summer here, what kind of opportunity? I know you get to 20 days of contact. You maybe have 7-on-7, maybe some full contact. What's been your what has your summer been like, and when does it end, and what do you have coming up?
So we're pretty set in our schedule. I mean, we certainly we look at different ways to tweak how we approach things, but we kind of approached our summer very similar for a while. June is our heavy month. The month of June is when we get a bulk of our contact days, including our team camp. Our team camp is a full contact team camp. We go to Northwest Missouri State. It's an excellent camp. We get a lot of value from that camp, not only, really establishing our initial depth chart, but also establishing schematically what we're going to do with this new team. Basically, and in essence, for us, it's our spring ball. And so, that's a very valuable time. That's at the beginning of June. We have 5 mini camp days before we go. The state of Missouri requires that you have an acclimation period in the summer as well for that contact component. So we have 5 mini camp days, and then we go to our team camp. And then when we return from that, we basically build upon that the rest of June. Investing a lot in the weight room, and doing some 7-on-7. We're not a big 7-on-7 group. I mean, obviously, I think it's well noted we're a flex bone option school, and so 7-on-7 is play action for us. I mean, we're not going to go into 7-on-7 and do anything different. And our passing game is really, for the most part, 100% based upon us being able to run the football successfully. So going to like 7-on-7 tournaments and, these more elaborate 7-on-7 events are just not good fits for us. I've done them in the past when we were more of a spread look, and I think they're more beneficial. They do help us defensively, but as an overall group, we do a Monday night 7-on-7, 3 Mondays in June. We host it here, and it's schools that are similar to us, so that it's really a good fit. And then in the month of July, we do a camp week. We do our elementary camp. Both of those are this week, actually. And then next week, our guys are really in their second week off. We've already had our Misha dead period. That was the July 4th week. We take this next week off also. Always believed in getting our guys in a good spot mentally, really getting the batteries refreshed before we get into the grind. The week before practice starts on the 7th, we're not allowed to do any football, but we can condition. And so we do some weightlifting and conditioning that week a little bit. Just so that our kids they reestablish that base that they've set throughout the summer, and then we hit the ground running on August the 7th, and goodness, Guy, before you know it, it'll be week 1. I tell our kids that all the time. Football seems to be a blink, and it'll be here.
The 25th is going to come awfully quick. It's the summer has flown by, and here we are. Basically 4 weeks from tomorrow is the first home game, our first football game.
No doubt.
Pretty quick. Well, Coach, and again, been visiting with Coach Will Christian, Lebanon Yellowjackets head football coach. And Coach, as always, I want to thank you for being generous with your time. You've always been a faithful person to come in and be a part of the Missouri Sports Network. And I know we'll visit with you throughout the season. And best of luck. And anything that we can do for you, let us know.
Well, I appreciate it, Guy, and thanks for covering high school sports. I know that the kids and parents and programs greatly appreciate it, and we appreciate you covering us.
Oh, you bet. Coach Will Christian, Lebanon Yellowjackets head football coach.
This has been a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.